Good morning. Good morning. Patrick and I are having one of those mornings.
We aren't really.
Well, I was just sitting here. Well, Patrick says.
I go, get ready.
You said open the computer.
I go, no, I said get it set up.
So I opened it, and then
I don't think they can hear us. Hang on.
Is that thing on?
That's like Jeannie's line. Is that even on?
Oh, my goodness.
So, what was I going to say? I'm like, get it set up. And then I walked back here, and it wasn't set up at all.
I was pricing stuff. Good morning.
I'm going to go lock that door just so we don't have strangers walking around. Will you plug that in?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I watched a little bit of the demo yesterday, which was really long. I was really thinking my demo would be, normally if somebody comes into the store and they want to look at sergers, my serger demo is maybe like 10 minutes. I'm like, and I watched that when I was like, well, we went through a lot of stuff and talked about a lot of the differences between.
Like a deeper demo.
We did. We went deeper. We talked about like what you could do with your serger, what I do with my serger. But the things that stuck out to me was.
You ladies are learning how to speak Jeannie.
It doesn't always make sense. And I know it doesn't sound right, so then I have to figure out what I'm saying.
Normally I'm there in the background, like feeding her the words, like this is what you're trying to say. Like this, where we should have changed it to pick up only the sound from the front, because what it was getting.
Can you do that? Can you set it up to pick just
what
the sound
it was getting? It was the it was getting the echoes off the wall.
Yeah, so I apologize for that, and thank you so much for bearing with us. The other thing that stuck out to me.
I am planning. So what happened in the middle of the demo yesterday was a woman came in with a vacuum, and I plugged the vacuum in, and not knowing that it happened, it blew a circuit, like a circuit had popped. So we lost all of our internet. And so by the time I figured that out and turned it on, I moved to a different outlet, and it blew a different circuit. And then I was like, lady, your vacuum is dead.
Asuli, is your husband going to sit through that? It was like, and the other thing that stuck out to me, I was talking really fast. I was like, and I blame that on my East Coast roots. Although he's from the East Coast, he doesn't talk fast. It reminded me of, a record.
That's because I need to talk slowly with you so you understand.
But it reminded me of like a record. Remember when you had the records and you could like turn up the speed?
It was like 45 or 33.
Yeah. Like the pitch, the everything. I was almost embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, that's what I sound like?
Grab a jukebox full of old 45s.
So I was just, anyways, hopefully you got the information. And
I will, like, so what happens when those end, they're actually done in high def. So it is a 4K recording.
Can you slow it down? Can you slow down the
I could
speed?
actually go in and like, I could change I couldn't make it slower, but I could change the tone. So long story short, it takes YouTube to basically process the high definition video takes almost a day. So when the live videos, they go live right away. So you could watch it, but I can't download it because what I am planning on doing, because I just watched through it just to make sure there was nothing that would like need to be edited. And I don't think there really is. But what I'll do is I'll take those two recordings and I'll just put them together and make one recording. And I'll cut out the, oh my God, we lost power. We'll figure out how to glue it together. You have something going on internet-wise here. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's not going to work.
I wasn't connected?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, look.
So,
Thank you, IT
Jeannie's
guy.
like ignoring all the warnings that are coming up on her computer right now. I'm not connected. Oh, look, there are like 4 things that tell me that I'm not connected.
This is why I miss, like, appointments. Because, like...
The alarms pop up.
And I just keep working. And I'm unreliable. I used to be really, really, really reliable. I never missed anything.
Well,
I
like
was
the
always
only
on time.
the only thing she had to do in her life was show up to her social functions.
And those are fun. Who wants to miss that? And now I feel like maybe my cup runneth over, and sometimes
I always tell
there's
Jeannie's
just
friends.
not enough space in the brain.
I tell Jeannie's friends, I'm like, Jeannie's full.
Should I be worried?
No, you're
Should
just
I be,
full.
Should I be playing more Sudoku?
No, Sudoku doesn't make a difference.
I need a better brain. I need a brain transplant.
You need to just relax more.
My mind doesn't do that. Okay. That fits in.
So it does sound like I've got some trade-in surgers that are coming in, like, and I'll have them in a week or two. It is very likely I will have another used Imagine. I will also have a Vibrant that comes in sometime this week. So those are coming. We'll let you know about those. They are coming. So, and like I said, if those of you that have missed the demo, it's 2 demos because we lost power in the middle of the demo.
It was kind of perfect because it was right before the Triumph. So it was like, okay, part 2.
Part 2.
Cover stitch part 2.
So yeah, that's coming. For those of you who haven't figured it out or seen it yet, the closeout sale for the Kimberbell items is up. They are up. I do have an Allegro in the store.
Is that the?
I have
Blue
mixed
Jazz?
feelings about those machines.
Do you want to talk
Jeannie,
about it? Do you want to talk about your feelings?
I always talk about my feelings. Jeannie's like, shut up. Just do what I tell you.
Poor Patrick. Patrick does like to talk about. I don't want to gender role us when it comes to feelings.
There's no such thing as gender.
Oh my God, you're so
Gender's a concept, Jeannie. It
But
totally
he's the one that
makes
likes,
sense to my kids.
He's the one that likes
That's
to
how I know
talk
the
about
world
his
is getting
feelings.
better. So yeah, what is Violet? Violet said something the other day.
Hey, before this message disappears, Joyce, I didn't talk about the Evolution because the Evolution has been replaced by the Accolade. And I was talking to somebody this morning about the difference between the Triumph and the Accolade. And it's like the Accolade is like a limousine and the Triumph is like a stretch limousine. Because you get more space. And more power.
That's a bad like
Okay, what would you compare it to?
Like, I think the Accolade is a sports utility vehicle, and the Triumph is like a crew cab with an extended bed.
Who knows what a crew cab is?
These ladies know what a crew cab is.
Is that like a?
Our customers
RV?
our customers have trucks.
Oh, it's a truck.
It's a truck. So
I have no idea. That would go.
In function, they both do the same thing. The Triumph is going to give you greater space. The biggest thing with the Triumph, and listen, this is not to poo-poo air threading in the needles. Air threading in the needles is
I love
awesome. It's awesome. But the biggest thing is power. And so you're going to end up with, like close to 6 inches of space, better lighting. But the biggest thing is it's 30% greater torque. So the machines are very similar in function. The Triumph makes everything easier. It's going to be easier. It's going to be more powerful. And people think that it's faster. And it's not really faster, but it's just that it handles everything with such ease and with such power. People think it's faster as a result. So it's as close as you can get to commercial power in Surgers. And the Acclaim is much the same. It's kind of like the Acclaim and the Victory. Just went in for servicing and I can't.
Okay, yeah, I do not see the closeout on the promotions page. I'm going to put it in right now.
So,
or you can just type in closeout, 2 words.
What were we talking about before that, though? We were talking
about the Allegro.
Okay, so let's talk Allegro and Jazz really fast. And part of the reason why I was like slightly hesitant to talk about this is I don't want anyone with an Allegro or Jazz, especially if you bought it from me. We've had this conversation, but if you've bought it from somebody else, I don't want anybody to ever feel bad about the machine that they have. What I always tell folks about those machines is there's a place for them. In that nobody else offers a machine with that speed, power, or size, 12 inches in the throat, at that price. And in the Baby Lock and Brother machines, and really let's talk Brother machines, because that's when we're talking Baby Lock, 99% of the sewing machines are going to be made by Brother. They're like, for a machine of that size and speed, you're talking about $6,500 plus machines. Like that would be the Baby Lock Ballad for in prior lines, the aria, the crescendo, the ballad, the chorus. In Brother terminology, the 24 to 2,500 or the 3,000 to 3,100. And the reality is, those machines are very expensive. The Jazz and the Allegro are Jaguar machines. So that is a Chinese holding company that makes sewing machines for other brands. And quite frankly, you're getting a lot of machine for a little price. And I believe that comes a little bit at the cost of build quality. I've seen some issues with those machines, unlike issues that I've seen on other machines. And the reality is they don't perform like, we'll call them the large format Brother machines. And so anytime somebody comes in and looks for those machines, that's what we're going to talk about. Because what has happened in the past, and it's funny, if you come into my store, we always have this conversation. I don't sell a ton of those machines as a result. And if we do, we've had this conversation. And does Gail have a Jazz? And she loves it, right? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. So as long as you understand what you're getting, then it's a great machine.
But you can't compare what you're getting with
you
that
cannot compare
to a chorus, a ballad, or like a 3,100
and
or
that's
2,500.
And that's my fear. Because a lot of times people that are getting those machines have looked at those larger machines, or they've looked at like a Janome 9700 or, the like several $1,000 machines. And then they see this machine, and quite frankly, the way it's marketed is great. But it's not going to have features like the automatic fabric thickness sensor. They sound different. They feel different. It's a different format of the machine. So to answer your question, I have it. And I really, truly believe there's a place for machines like that in the lineup. Like there's nothing else in that price point that is going to do what those machines do, and it's awesome. But at the same time, if we come in and look at those machines, a lot of times I'm going to put you on like a Brother BQ 950 or a Baby Lock Lyric or a Baby Lock Soprano or a Brother 1350, because if the question is size, like you lose a couple inches, but you might find the sewing experience on those machines to be more to your liking. So it's just a scenario where anytime wants to talk about those machines, we're going to sit down at those other machines too to make sure. And we're even going to show you probably the 2500 or the 3100, because a lot of times people buying those machines, it's a price point purchase. I get it. And if there's a way for me to find a way to get you into those other machines, we'll get you there.
Because we always want your end experience to be the best experience possible. We want to get you the best machine.
Oh, absolutely.
For you.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
Like I said, the woman that I mentioned earlier has everything. Like she has all kinds of machines and she loves it. And I think she uses it. Am I remembering? She uses it for free motion.
It was okay, but traded it.
Okay. So that's another machine, similar price point, actually a lower price point, and you lose a couple inches in the throat. But I'd buy the PQ 1500 SL all day over that Allegro or the other thing. But you're not going to get the other. Well, but you're not going to get the other stitches. It's straight stitch only.
Yes, it's straight stitch only.
So, but like, what we're going to do in my shop is we're really going to talk about end experience. We're going to listen to it. We're going to feel it. And it's funny because a lot of times people go 1500 stitches a minute. Like I love the idea of that power. But like it's the sound, the feel, and everything else. So yeah, that's just, and if you want to talk about the machine, call me. I will talk all day about the machine. Like I said, I like the machines for what they are, but we're always going to talk about, like I said, that overall experience. Let's see, bought a NQ 3700D, 3 months later, XP3.
That happens.
In my shop, it happens all the time. When you come into my shop, we're going to have that conversation because we're going to show you the high-end stuff. And part of what I'll tell you is I'm happy to sell you this machine. Just understand I'm going to sell you 3 or 4 machines in the next 3 or 4 years.
I think what happens is people aren't sure about embroidery. It's a lot of money. They get the machine and they love it. And then they're willing, and then they go, oh, I can see why I want a bigger hoop, and I can see why I want a camera, and I can see why I want all these other features, and then they upgrade. But some do it fast, some do it slow. I was a painful progression up the chain.
Yeah, it's really hard to sell you 3 machines for the cost of 1. Yeah. Like you're always going to spend more, but And like I said, it's funny. I always feel weird having that conversation because, like, for what those machines are, I really do like them, and I feel like there's a place for them, and like we need machines like that in the lineup. The only thing that I get concerned about with those machines, because it happened a lot when the Jazz first came out, is people came in buying the Jazz because it was a much more the price point was much easier for them to swallow, but they were constantly comparing the Jazz to the large format their large format machines that their friends were using. And so they'd come in and be like, my Jazz doesn't do this, or it's not like this, or it's not like that. And it's like, it's not. That's not what it is. So, and the Allegro was an improvement on the Jazz, slightly higher price point, but that, like, we're now in a price point where, like I said, like sometimes that $950 or $1350 or Lyric or Soprano makes more sense. You generally do not need to set an appointment to come in with their shopping experience here. We will, if you are in the store for a machine, you have our priority. Sometimes that's tough. Like there was a day this week where it was a one-man show for several hours and I was really busy.
End of the day, you know what? You can actually call and I would call and make an appointment like that. So I knew that they were coming yesterday.
Right.
at the end of the day.
And
but
that's
end
fine.
of the day is usually better.
Yeah, after 3 p.m., things kind of slow down, and we're normally always here.
Mondays
although
are, I mean,
probably shouldn't
Tuesday's
say it.
not a good day.
In the morning. Like afternoons are still all right.
Tuesdays are not a good day. But yeah, just call and I'll set you up. And then we will sit down and find the best machine for you. Part of that at our stores, we'll get you on the machine and we'll have you sew too. I think that's really important. Sitting down and sewing on a machine, feeling it, hearing
we're gonna put it in your hands. And that I didn't realize how many times I've talked to folks that are like, I wasn't allowed to touch the machine before I bought it, or they got a distant demo, like sitting next to somebody that was using the machine. Like our goal is to make sure that you see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to get to the Luminaire. I mean, I started
Jeannie
out...
bought every machine in the store. She did that with her sergers
with
too.
a Sophia, and then I went to a Baby Lock Allure, and then I got an Elegante, bought my Elegante used, and then I tried out Janome, and I got a 15,000. I bought my 6 needle, and then I bought my Valiant, and then I bought my Luminaire. I think that's how it went.
You had a dream machine for a short period of time there.
No.
Yeah. We took home a used dream machine for like a number of months before you got your Luminaire.
Oh, maybe I'm not remembering. But yeah, it was. And when I have some people come in and they're like, they've never embroidered before, and they're like, get me the Luminaire. I'll have everything.
Was that Lori?
Or get me the Solaris. Get me the Solaris, and that's it. I never have to upgrade again until the next one comes out. But and I'm always like, wow, that's it. Because I wasn't like, I was like, I don't know, will I like it? I was telling somebody, I was talking with Shelly this morning, and I was telling her like we have different thresholds, and like my first sewing machine that I bought when I graduated from college. And I had 2
glasses.
Dad, if you're watching this, sorry, but
Just buy them all.
I had 2 violins, and I went to a pawn shop and I pawned them, and I went straight to the sewing store and I bought a Singer Featherweight and a Singer Touchtronic, and I never used the Touchtronic, but that Singer Featherweight was the first thing. I bought a book.
Do we still have that? Is that the one that we have?
It's at my Featherweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that I have right now, and I quilted something. This is still like I had scissors. I didn't know about cutting mats. I didn't know about a rotary cutter. I didn't know about 1/4 inch feet. I didn't know anything. I bought a book and I cut all the pieces and I sewed a top. I didn't know about quilting. I didn't know about layering. I sewed that quilt top I bought a sheet at the thrift store, and I sewed it to the sheet on 3 sides, and then I put buttons, and I made a duvet cover. So, and I used that sewing machine to hem jeans with thick thread, and I always wondered why it looked so bad, because the thread wouldn't go through right, and I didn't know anything. And in my next machine, I bought on eBay. So, I never bought anything fancy. I would have known you were
such
would have been the one.
Girl.
I'm so fancy now. I'm the one that would have bought my machine at Goodwill and brought it in and been like, it doesn't work. And so, that's so I made the slow progression. Sophia, Allure, and went from there.
So, let's talk just for a second about some of the stuff going on. There is special brother financing. So there's brother sponsored financing. And part of the reason I mentioned this and for folks like Asuli, if you're lusting over a machine, don't just lust, call. Because if we can find a way to make a deal happen, we'll make the deal happen and get you into the machine and get things going for you. And that's the other thing, Asuli, like if you're looking at something like the Luminaire and you're like, I just can't do it. There's some large format machines like the Stellaire XJ1 and XE1. There's a national deal that starts. Anybody who's talked to me about those machines, if I haven't already offered you a price better than what's happening next month, I've called you. But starting May 1st, we're not really allowed to advertise it to May 1st, but starting May 1st, there's a rebate thing going on with Brother, like a dealer rebate thing where we can sell those machines at 50% off.
Yeah.
Anybody who's gotten a quote on me that hasn't gotten that call, you're already below 50% off if I haven't called you to go, hey, this is happening. So some of those machines are becoming much more affordable, and with some of like Brother sponsored financing and stuff like that, like payments would be pretty low. So like it and it's funny, I told a customer that was in the store yesterday, my reaction to some of the sale prices right now are our manufacturers are overstocked. And so like, I think it's a good time to buy a sewing machine. Financing rates have gone up, and that's a little tough. So we're kind of battling that, but that's why I mentioned the Brother sponsored financing, because Brother's eating on the long-term financing, like 60-month financing, which normally costs me about 20%, is 14%. So I'm either factoring that price into the deal, or like a lot of times I just give people the bottom line price, and then we talk about how we're going to deal with that financing charge. And like the last time I did that, I loved it. The customer got back and goes, when I look at this and I look at how it works, it's working. That's annual interest at 5%. It's an incredibly cheap way to finance stuff. So so that's coming up. What else do we have to talk about?
I am so close to having the cuties kits ready. I have one fabric that I'm waiting on. So, but if you order the cuties kits with and we're talking cuties July through December, because we'll start doing those in June, I think. I think next month we're going to do next month is May. So we'll stitch out June, and then in June we'll stitch out July. So, so those are coming. I just cut the backing kits last night. And I think we have, I don't know why we didn't start in order, but we have November and October bagged and ready to go. And then we'll be working on the other ones. What else do we have to talk about? We do have other stuff to talk about.
And just to touch on this, Lady Fair's LaDonna, right? Is that right?
Yes.
So, I get why the manufacturers have MAP pricing, and so we're a very high volume shop. A lot of machines travel through our store. Not all shops are like that, and in fact most shops are not. And so there are some cities where larger dealers that are very high volume shops keep their prices very high. And that's, that is what it is. But if you look at those lineups, like every machine at this point in the Baby Lock and Brother lineup until the 10 needle and the Solaris and Luminaire are purchasable online, most dealers are going to stick to MAP pricing, because a lot of times MAP pricing isn't super high margin. But, the reality is, for a small shop that may sell 5 Luminaires a year, that's their bread and butter. Like, and if they aren't making enough money when they sell those machines, then those shops cease to exist. So there are a lot of customers in a lot of areas that, their lifeblood, like where they buy their fabric, where they buy their stuff, where they get their machine service, are really dependent upon being able to sell those machines at high margin. And quite frankly, if they had to match our prices, they'd never do it. And Reno's a funny market, because while we're, call it 500,000 people, there are a couple very successful retailers in this town. This town affords very good sewing business. So it is what it is. And I think the bigger thing, and it's funny, I have a phone call I need to make this morning, but I think one of the bigger things is like, and this has happened on multiple occasions. People have either traveled here to get their machines. Like there's somebody who's getting a machine right now where I'm saving her $4,000. And so even if you're traveling here for a day or two, we'll make that worth the travel just because, we'll make sure that we fill your day with information and stuff. But at the same time, if we're saving you $4,000 or something like that over what you can do locally, and if travel's $400 or $500, you're still making out like a bandit. So, just things to consider.
Cindy, Patrick will call you. You have a couple people to call.
Yeah. So right now, the nationally advertised sale price is $59.99. Cindy, let's talk. Let's figure out your circumstances. Because if we're factoring in anything like trade-ins and or financing, we'll sit down and put those numbers together. And it is 10. So, and we have a lot to do today.
Yeah, because Patrick, I talked to somebody this morning about the price on the Triumph, and I had heard him say $59.99, and so I was like, oh, and then I was like, well, could you do better? And when he told me the price, I was like,
well, because that was the
excited.
price. That was the price I would do. We have a customer who bought a machine and then has decided that maybe she should have gotten the Triumph. The machine is unopened. And so the deal is kind of what I would do anyways. So,
yeah.
So
I think we can beat so are you beating that price?
Which price?
The $59.99.
I'm assuming, she's talking about the Stellaire Luminaire.
So
I think the Luminaire, my deal's way better than that, but that's not to make you feel bad about your deal. So yeah, Cindy, call me. I've got a couple of calls to make this morning, maybe after 11
we can
or
make you a
11:30.
crazy deal on a 6-needle, Margaret. And
Yeah, Margaret,
talk
I've got a
10
6 needle that I'm really looking to get rid of because I bought it for somebody that ended up not buying it. And it's been here since October. So, and they're always on sale. I always sell them well below MSRP and well below.
We're what's that guy? The crazy whatever.
Crazy Eddie.
We're crazy.
Remember Crazy Eddie? He went to jail.
We're not going to do that, though. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we'll do
our
our
right.
best.
Have a great day. Be creative and make something incredible. We will see you tomorrow for a great giveaway.
I did. Oh, were we doing the playbook the 10 needle playbook as a
yeah.
daily deal?
Okay, let me get that up. We'll put that up. I'll do it right now. Promise. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to do that right now. What?
So Crafty bought an Altair, an Accomplish, and a Presto all at the same day, all at MSRP.
Don't do that again. Call us. All right. We will see you later.
Margaret, come and see us. If you're back from Hawaii, come and see us. Although I was thinking today we should
go to Hawaii.
We should have a little play date. Poppy, who's crashed out. Were they playing like crazy all morning or something?
I don't know. She's been really, really bad.
Alice remembers Crazy as where the deals are insane. Remember that? And then, yeah, they went to jail. They were massive tax fraud people.
All right. Say goodbye.
Bye.